I just published 100 articles using just one prompt with Cursor and the Webflow MCP tools. No clickbait, this is not a drill, this is the real deal. Let me show you. So here you see a list of articles I generated in a few minutes with Cursor. Each post has a title, image, and a full description. So how did I do this? I connected Webflow to Cursor using the MCP tools and then connected my website using the API. This way I was able to use Cursor to prompt for more content on my website. Let me walk you through the process. Alright, so the Webflow MCP, I've made other videos about this so you guys can check it out. To access the Webflow MCP, you can go to Webflow MCP tools and you can go to the developers.com or developers.webflow.com. That's the page. You can see MCP Server and AI tools. There are instructions on how to set this up on your either Cursor or Cloud, whatever you want to name it. So this is the setup method that you can follow through and set it up. However, we're going to set this up on Cursor for the sake of this project. And I'm going to set it up on this example project that I have. So this is a demo project that we're going to be using. This project has some CMS. So enough of this intro. Let's get to work. So let's go to developers.webflow.com. And if you go to start building and you go to build an app. So basically you go to this docs page and then you can go to the data API and get authorization info. So this is where you would get the API key for, let's say, your website or a bunch of websites or even your entire workspace. I would not recommend the entire workspace because it might be a lot of tokens. Every time you want to find a site, there's going to be a call where the AI or the agent is going to look for your site. So might as well just focus on the specific project that you're going to be working on, just like we're going to do right now. So let me show you if this doesn't make sense. So if you go to try it here, and now I'm logged into some website, so I'm going to log out and it's going to refresh and we can log back in. So you click to log in. Now it's going to prompt me to choose either, like as you can see here, I could choose the entire workspace or I can choose a specific website in that workspace. So in my case, I want to choose this website. So it's called Your School Site. So let's, so Your School Site. Yeah, so instead of getting everything, I just want to get this website. And then I'm going to authorize the app. And now I can get my token here. So what you're going to do is basically click here, copy and paste it in the cursor. So let's do that. So I'm going to copy it and then we can go to Cursor. And then on Cursor, you can go to your cursor settings. So if you click on settings and then you get to settings and then you go to tools and integrations. And then here's where you're going to have MCP tools. I already have the Webflow MCP installed, but we're going to install it from scratch. So let's click on new MCP. And as you can see, this is the Webflow MCP that I have. So I'm just going to delete it. And we're going to scroll down. And as you can see here, this is the MCP code that you will need. Now, if you don't have any MCPs here, and if you see this file empty, you can copy this entire code, including this MCP parameter or line. But in my case, I already have that line and I want to list my MCPs inside. I'm just going to copy from Webflow up until this bracket. And then I'm going to copy that and I'm going to go here and I'm going to put a comma and I will paste in the Webflow MCP. And here is where I will paste in my token. So I'll get the token and I'll paste it in here. Now I save and then I go back to cursor settings. And then I can either, perhaps I can close this and open it again, or I can just close the MCP, turn it off, and then turn it back on again. And as you can see, it's now in green, and it says 32 tools enabled. These are the tools that I can make my agent on Cursor use, or use when communicating with my website, with my Webflow website, the one that I just connected. So this is the installation part, and this is basically how you install MCP to your website. Now, this is a bit of a, very manual process. There's some code to it, but it's pretty straightforward. Once you have this connected, you can double check with your agent or your LLM. It's going to list the website that you're connected to. Let's see. So you see it's called sites list. And this is basically one of the tools that are available here. So if we look for sites list, it's right there. So this is what it does. And this is basically how you can understand what's going on with these MCP calls. Now let's try to test this MCP tool and see how much it can do for us. Like, how much content can I create with this MCP tool? Let's say, can I create 100 blog posts with one prompt? Let's see how to do that, or let's see if that's possible. So I have in my project a CMS called blogs and another CMS called blogs categories. So basically, this is a complicated CMS, or like an advanced CMS setup that we need to do. So it has an image, the post body, which is a rich text, and then this drop down and some summary and small description. So what I want to do is I want to create 100 blog posts that follow this style, this type of content. So I need to be filling all the fields. Let's see if Cursor can do that. Now let's go back to Cursor. And remember, in Cursor, you have the ability to choose your model, so which model you will be using, or you can go with an auto mode where it chooses the model for you based on the prompt or based on how much information you need to get. In my case, I like to use the O3 model. It's one of my favorites. It's really powerful and I love the results that it gives me. So we're going to be using that one. Now I have prepared the prompt, so we're going to be using that prompt. I'm going to just paste it here. This prompt basically asks for 100 blog articles in my blogs collection on Webflow website. These articles must be rich in SEO, they must have an image, and the agent shouldn't stop until all 100 articles are there. Now I'm going to leave this prompt in the description below so you guys can check it out, but let's see what O3 is going to do for us and this agent is going to do for us. Now this is going to take a while, so bear with me through this. Okay, so we're back and now we have all 100 SEO focused image rich blog articles have been created in your blog. So let's go check them out. Now, if we go back to our Webflow project, we can just refresh. And while it's refreshing, we can go to blogs and you can see it's now 106 items. So that's great. It just created all these 100 blog posts with one prompt basically. And if we go to one of them, we could check them out. Now, some of them might not have images because I think it gets from Unsplash, and some Unsplash images are pro or they're broken links. So we can reiterate on that, but most of them are there. Now, the post body is very limited. We can also iterate on that and tell it to, okay, fill in the post body of all the blog posts and add more content. It shows the category, which is great, and yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I like how much we can create with just one prompt. So with something like this, you can create a bunch of content. You can go in and iterate it, of course. You can reiterate on some of them, so you can get the ID. Let's say if I want to reiterate on this specific blog post, I can get the item ID and I can go back to Cursor. I can paste in the item ID and let's say, all right, so in this case, I added the item ID and I was like, this is the item ID of the collection item. Fill in the post body with a 1000 word article, rich with keywords. So let's see how this works. Okay, so now my post has been refreshed with 1000 words. So if I go back to this growth hacking, I lost it, growth hacking techniques. Let's refresh and go back to it. I hope we find it because there are so many blog posts. So we go to the growth hacking, growth metrics. Okay, so we search for growth hacking technique. Okay, so now we can see a full-on article with steps, multiple steps, almost 1000 words, and that's great. So this is the video for today. This is how you can use the MCP to create a bunch of content. So thank you for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe, watch the other videos. I will make more videos about the MCP and how to use AI with Webflow, and that will be the focus. So see you in the next one.